too.
Okay.
This is great.
All right, you're off mute.
Are we live?
We're live.
We're getting a thumbs up from Gelman. If you're on Facebook, drop us a comment. Let us know you're on. Hey guys, have Justin.
I put it down.
We're having
a lot of
Margarita Monday.
technical
It
difficulties
might look
here.
like Kim has drank a lot of her margarita, but she spilled a lot of it on the floor.
She sure did. If you're on Facebook, drop us a comment. Say hello. Justin, you think we'll be able to see it here?
It should, yes.
Okay.
Well, Ian's got his phone too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there, my mom. Thanks,
There
Mom.
we go. Thank you, Pam. It's good to see you.
Hi, Pam.
Oh,
Oh, can you maybe turn the volume off there? Yeah.
well, okay. We close that.
We're good.
Okay. So we're
All
good.
So what are we talking about tonight?
Okay. So if
Kim's running a half marathon.
if you couldn't tell, we are not at Fleet Pea Poughkeepsie. We are at
What's that noise?
what is this?
Oh, the Roomba.
Yes, Facebook.
Have you guys
Yeah.
ever seen the movie Gremlins? It was
What?
kind of like that.
It just takes a second.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Justin's Roomba just kicked in.
Yeah, that's
it's
pretty
ready
good.
to clean.
Yeah.
I was like, what, are we
Batteries
taking
not
off?
included.
Are the
Okay.
drones inside? What's happening?
So
No.
Dan wants to know if we can send him some of those drinks.
Yeah.
Mary Beth, oh my gosh, you guys.
Oh,
We got the bestest package from Mary Beth
Oh.
today at the
she knows the
store.
way to our hearts. Let
She
me
sure
tell
does.
you.
The whole team is ecstatic, Mary Beth. We got an awesome box of chocolate.
Beautiful chocolate.
Ooh.
Beautiful chocolate.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, I am sticking to the floor because this is where Kim spilled her drink. And
Sorry.
I'm like, I think I'm a little stuck to the floor, but that's
Apologies to tomorrow's patients.
okay. Justin's gonna be like, "Come on, this is really easy. Just move your
Apologies
leg."
to your Roomba.
Yeah.
Thank
True.
God it also mops.
Okay, so
So-
we're here to talk about cadence.
Yes.
So before we have like a live demo that we're gonna do, you guys, Kim is really excited about that.
I can't wait.
Before we get to the demo and chatting a little bit more, Justin and John, you guys should know these guys by now. What do we mean when we're talking about cadence?
Oh, all right. Well, it's pretty easy. So,
Okay.
We're talking about
It's-
singing, so Justin will go first.
yeah, right. It's steps per minute, right? So it's how many steps per minute you're taking. Okay. And so that could, be related a little bit to the speed that you're running, but in reality, you should be able to kind of run at any speed at most cadences. There's obviously going to be a limit on the high end or the low end, but it plays a huge role in kind of the forces that are going through your body when you're running.
Okay. So we're gonna dive deeper into this.
So do you want a high cadence or a low cadence? Like what's preferred?
He's gonna say it depends.
It depends. Yeah. Haven't you
No,
learned by
Have
now?
you met Justin?
I thought that was an easy question. The answer is high,
It is
isn't
easy.
it?
It depends.
It
Not
depends.
necessarily.
Well, there's all right. So again,
It
I just
depends.
what they found,
John's going to say it depends using different words.
most people's adopted cadences should be bumped up by about 5%. That's what a lot of the research has come out to say, and a lot of the kind of like trial and error type stuff. And there's also something called the 5-20 rule. A 5% increase in cadence results in 20% less stress at your knee. That's the one I always kind of fall back to. So,
But if you increase your cadence too much,
right.
then it increases the energy cost of what you're doing.
So it depends.
So there's a ceiling where it becomes like not beneficial.
Yes.
So it depends.
Clear as mud, guys.
Yeah.
Clear as mud.
We'll be here all day.
You should probably rewatch this tomorrow, then learn a little bit
Yeah.
about it.
Okay, so what we wanted to do, and we are gonna do, is we're gonna actually put Kim on the treadmill.
Guys, I'm gonna be
She's
honest.
got-
I have no idea what I signed up for
She
here.
was like, "Wait, what am I doing?"
We lied to get her here.
All right. So
got-
here's the thing. So this treadmill has the ability for me to control the speed remotely. So drop down in the chat
Look at
what you would like the speed to be set at while Kim's running.
I don't-
We'll put them on a
8.9.
hat. We'll pick a number out, right?
8.9.
I don't really run much these days.
A ludicrous speed.
Is that Chris Regan?
Gelman,
No.
but before
Ludicrous speed. I like it.
before we get into
I don't
that,
even know what that means, but this seems
Yeah.
mean.
well, this will be less mean. Justin, this joke is specifically for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Did you hear about the indecisive rower?
Did I hear about the indecisive rower? No.
He couldn't choose either or.
Oh God.
There's a rowing joke for you.
Normally, I would say that's on the lower end, but because Justin's actually a rower,
Okay.
It's a rower, yeah.
Okay.
I'll give it to
Treadmill
you.
and cocktails.
All right.
I in my
Tracy's joining,
defense.
she's joining us from South Carolina.
So in
We
my
love it.
defense, I dumped most of my
Yeah.
margarita on the ground,
And
so I
I'm
only
still-
drank a little. So
And
I'm ready.
I'm getting the stickiness of it.
All right.
Hi, Mom. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put, so basically what we want to show you is that at Feldman PT, if you are interested, you can come in for kind of like a running event, overall running evaluation, and cadence is going to be part of it. And so Kim has some sensors on her already.
Yep.
I have a sensor.
Right?
So
a sensor.
Kim has a sensor on her back, right?
Yeah.
Which is going to help us measure a whole bunch of forces on her body. And so what we're going to do is we're going to film Kim running.
Mm.
We're going to take all the sensor data, and then we're going to do a follow-up to this looking at the data.
Yeah.
Because if we tried to look at the data now and do all of that, everyone would be sleeping before we were done.
And
Right,
then,
no one
we don't,
wants to
we don't
watch me
want
run.
to flunk Kim
Justin
in
and I
front of
would like
everybody.
it.
Plus-
so.
Plus, Kim
Yeah.
has to have a chance to drink some of
Yeah.
her margarita.
Right.
Stick you over
Um,
here too.
But
All right, all
It's
right.
a lot.
All right, guys.
Okay, so
so I don't
let's
get my
you-
report card until the next episode.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
All right.
So on the treadmill we go.
Let's
Is this
get-
what's
Oh,
happening.
Get up.
we're doing it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
I
All
don't
right.
even have a hair tie. I'm
You
not
don't
gonna
need
lie.
it.
All right.
I feel compelled to say one other thing on cadence while they're getting everything set up. The reason it actually matters is equal and opposite reactions. When your foot hits the ground pushes back up into you.
Mm.
And if you take less steps per minute versus more steps per minute, or whatever your body's most or least efficient at, you can actually change how much force it requires. So most of the time, like I said, people will benefit from increasing their cadence a little bit, which means your steps are slightly shorter. So it requires less energy to go a shorter distance. So that means there's less energy for you pushing off the ground and then less energy pushing back into you. So this is one of the reasons we look at cadence, because it dictates all the forces back up into your body that your legs have to
All right.
absorb.
Your mom wants to know what you were thinking when you signed up for this.
I think I was
She
volunteering.
didn't. Yeah, she didn't know.
I actually
All right.
didn't.
Okay,
sign up.
so
So,
Okay.
all right. So the way we like to start these things is we got to make her walk a little bit first, right?
Okay.
So tap that on the right a little bit. Get yourself to a comfortable walking speed.
her
Can we talk about
walking
the new
speed
fancy
is
treadmill?
insane.
We are. Hang on. I'm going to let Kim get. All right. Keep going. A little more. There. All right. You're good there. All right. So basically, all right. So now we want to let someone walk for a little while. Ideally, we're going to make them walk for about 5 minutes ish just to get used to being on the treadmill.
We're not gonna make you sit through
We're
that.
not going to make you sit through that. That would just be mean. All right. Now, so the cool part about this new treadmill is that it will adapt to your speed while you're going. So you don't have to like change the speed with what you're doing.
Very cool.
So Kim's walking. As she gets a little faster, it'll just speed up. If she gets slower, it'll just slow down. So while you're running, you could just sort of naturally run, and it will just track you while
You're
you're
doing
running.
great, Kim.
Yeah.
Good
High
job.
five.
Walking is my
Right.
jam.
So-
So
so basically-
Your cadence looks great to me
this
so
is
far.
where I really
Yeah, this looks good. So what we're gonna have to do is just really gently start to get into a run.
Oh.
All
Oh,
right, I'm gonna lower your phone so it doesn't bounce. Go ahead.
Okay.
So you're just gonna start running.
wow. I don't know if you, I hope you guys can see that, like, she hasn't touched any buttons and the treadmill has already
Okay.
adjusted.
Going
So
with me.
you're trying to get to like what would be your natural pace.
Okay.
That's great.
I'm getting there.
We should have had some music for this part, I feel like. Some Rocky.
I think we would get like copyright yelled at.
Oh,
That's
probably. Kim, do you want to hear a joke while you're running?
I'm sure.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Okay, I think
Um,
I'm like at my natural pace.
Why,
this year.
why was E the only letter to get a present from Santa?
Oh, she comes in with a Christmas joke. This one.
I mean,
Interesting.
because the other letters were not E. Pete Ramos sent me that one today. Thank you.
That's a
Pete.
good one.
Love it. That was really adorable. Did Justin leave us?
No, I was
Oh,
just getting
okay.
the sensor all turned on.
He's putting his
Okay.
gear helmet on.
Yeah. All right. So
we promised her she would not be running for 10 minutes, so
I mean, I
let's
was
try
trying
to
to
stick
keep it
to that,
When do we ever
okay?
stick to our word?
The margarita's calling my name, guys.
Oh, we'll drink for you.
You guys have seen the carrot and the stick, right?
yeah. All right. So keep running, right?
Yeah,
So
right. I
one
got
of the
it.
things is,
Thanks.
Hot
so
tip.
we can sort of show this to you guys, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting like live data from her. So 57%. It's like your high school grades.
Yeah,
Um,
basically. Definitely my math grade.
Yeah.
Throwing shade. You can't even run after him.
no, she can't do it. So we're gonna let this collect a bunch of information on the side, but we can actually put this up in front of her and let her try and like adapt her running to change the score to see what she's doing. But I'm gonna let it go off to the side.
Well, I don't know how to make it better.
And we're just gonna film a little bit. So now if we try to cue Kim to increase her cadence a little bit.
Oh, there we
Good.
go. Nice job, Kim.
Take
This is
shorter,
such a
faster
quiet
steps.
treadmill. I like it.
I'm hot.
All right, so you guys can't really see Justin right now, but he's got some he's got his phone out, but he's got a cool little handle for it. And so what he's doing is he's recording from the back. He's focused on Kim's feet, I assume, and he's looking at that, and probably he'll be able to watch it back in slow mo. Is my guess.
That's the idea. But we're all gonna watch
Full
it in
body,
slow
too.
motion together.
Oh, good.
Okay. And
Not
now he's stepping off to the side, and he's getting a side
We can do
view.
the slow motion on the right.
Yeah, here we go. John and I will do
Chariots of Fire music.
Good. All right. So then the last one that we like to get is in front.
I can't believe we just did that.
Okay, so
All right.
going from the front.
Go back out of the way.
So Justin is off camera again, but he's dropped down. Again, he's really focused on
Super
Kim's
focused.
knees and feet from a videotaping perspective.
How you doing, Kim?
Okay.
I'm
All right.
great.
Hanging in there?
Is she done running?
She is done running.
Oh, good job. Lee, what happens? Do you start walking? Oh, wow.
Wow.
Look at
Fancy.
that.
Watch.
Well,
Oh, I was like, watch, she's going to go
All right,
flying
so
off.
Kim's used the treadmill before. Yeah.
Yay. You've earned a margarita.
Thank
Yeah.
Good
go ahead.
job.
Which
Nice
one's yours?
job.
This
big
one.
on the
All
right.
right.
The half empty
Okay.
one that I dropped all over the floor.
So I know. So Justin, we said we're going to come back for.
Yes.
I don't feel that bad for Kim.
No.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you, everyone at home.
so-
I can't see anything. But
I know you guys said like, Kim asked what's a good cadence, and you guys said depends.
Yes.
But is there generally a range that is good for people to be thinking about, or not even?
So generally, what I like to do is just look at kind of like what John said, right? Figure out what your natural cadence is, what your body naturally runs at when you're not paying attention to it, and then increase it by 5 or 10%.
Okay.
so do body dynamics play in? Like, is a taller person going to have a higher
Yeah.
cadence and
Years ago, they did a lot of research and they found like a lot of the elite runners and pros had a cadence of like above 180. So
Right.
arbitrarily,
Whoa.
they set the target of
Mhm.
like 180, and then other people came out and they were like, "Listen, those are like the pros and the elites. They kind of like set the mold. They like break the molds."
Yeah.
And so they're the exception, not the rule. And so some of them were like close to 200. Some of them were below 180. And really, it comes down to efficiency. And so, yeah, if you have longer legs,
right?
why are we going to arbitrarily make you have match the same cadence as somebody who's really short, like somebody who's just really short.
I am short. It's okay.
Right.
So again, this is all about efficiency. And
I like to think of myself as vertically challenged more
That's right.
so.
Yeah.
But
Hi, Pam.
Cam Chai.
but the other thing is, like Justin was showing you the percentages of Kim's efficiency on the treadmill. And-
Not very good.
If you find that you're actually quite efficient, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Like,
Right.
we don't want to go opening up a can of worms and throw things at you just for the sake of throwing things at you. I think that's one of the harder things too, is like we've had runners come in and we're like, all right, we're actually not going to do much.
They
And they're
just
like, but I'm
wanna-
here
right.
and I want you to
Right.
give me stuff to do.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, we're here to look and make sure you're doing things correctly. And as of right now,
It's not
there's
broke.
really not much to change.
Right.
Right.
So if you're efficient,
Mhm.
don't even think about it too much. But I will say, most of us can benefit from
There's
a
always
few
room
tweaks.
for
Right.
some
I think
tweaks,
also
yeah.
like we've talked to a lot of people about like step width, and so like how wide your feet are, right?
Mhm.
You've mentioned this a few times. You say you yourself every mile
Yeah.
remind yourself to
kinda
kind
like-
of widen.
Now the thing is, if your cadence is low, if you
Mhm.
tend to be someone who runs with a lower cadence, one of the reasons might be you're like overstriding a little bit. So you're just taking longer steps than you
Mhm.
need to. Well, if your leg is going out further than it necessarily needs to, it's going to deviate to the middle.
Okay.
So if we can get you to elevate your cadence,
That
we'll
makes sense.
widen
naturally.
your
Naturally.
stance naturally.
Your body adjusts naturally.
If you tend to be somebody who is like, I have knee pain in the middle of my run, or
Mhm.
hip pain in the middle of my run, or foot, but like I can walk around my life and these things don't hurt,
Mhm.
and I could do a mile or two and they don't hurt. then it's always something mechanical,
Mm.
right? Running that's causing that thing.
Right.
If we could just play around with your cadence a little bit,
Mhm.
sometimes it's easier to do that than to think about changing.
Right. I think people, like, if you tell someone to widen their stance while they're running, they might not be able to really wrap their head around and, like,
Yeah.
look
They
a
also
little odd.
feel like they're running like here,
Right.
It's gonna be
and they're
awkward.
not even changed at all.
Right.
Right.
So I'll just share an anecdote. Personally, I was introduced to cadence maybe about 8 years ago. When
Sounds like a past relationship you're
It
telling
is.
us about.
It is
Like,
because
we were set
We're-
up on a blind
we were-
date at PT.
we were. So I had for many years dealt with on and off plantar fasciitis. And I was actually doing a Fleet Feet training group. And it flared up pretty badly. And I went and saw John, and we did a little bit of an analysis and evaluation. And
Crushed
She
it.
didn't say it worked yet.
And-
So I don't know.
I'm reading the context clues.
Is that where
he's
we're
like,
going?
I'm picking up on where she's going.
Yeah, I know where she's going.
Name drop. Any
So
Yeah.
you know.
Got it.
in addition to some toe yoga exercises, what John really suggested is that we work on cadence to help prevent any additional pain and plantar fasciitis. And it took a lot of effort. It's not easy to change your cadence. It takes time. You should do it slowly. The biggest thing for me was like my hips, just like you're driving very differently when you're trying to, for me, it was to have a higher cadence.
Right.
And so the reason you need to work on it slowly is because it does change your body mechanics. And so my hips got a little sore initially, right? But we
Mhm.
worked up to it. And one of the things that John had me do when I was running on my own was use what is this called?
Metronome.
A metronome on my phone.
Old school.
Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah,
But
like for band class.
Yeah.
yes, but as a way to understand, like, this is the pace you want your feet hitting.
Yep.
And while we had an ultimate goal of where to
Hi,
get
Tracy.
hi Tracy.
Hey!
Whoa.
While we had an ultimate goal of where we wanted to get my cadence to, again, we started at a very slow progression because your body has to be able to adjust. And since I've done all that and I continue to do my toe yoga, no plantar fasciitis, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Mm.
So when you think about, like, why should I be thinking about my cadence? There's a part about how much efficiency and how much, power you're driving into the ground, but there's also potential benefits based on injuries or,
Mhm.
strengthening areas that you need to do. So
A lot of the injuries that we experience and that we treat in the clinic are based on inability to handle the loads or too high loads from like your training, either
Yep.
too fast, too hard, too much, whatever it might be. So
Yeah. And it was completely different from everything I had learned up until then. For me, it was like, open up your stride, longer
Yeah.
stride, get there.
just stride it out.
Right. And then John's like, nope, I need you to take smaller steps. And I'm like, nah, that's not right.
I mean, we say that to him all the time. So.
Right.
It never
right.
gets old hearing you were right.
Yeah, right.
Never,
So
ever.
the thing is, right, like John said, most of the stuff that you're seeing from a running perspective, injury-wise, is right that you're not able to handle the load necessarily. And we're often telling people like, well, you got to get stronger. We got to get you able to handle the load. But if we can play with your cadence and lower the load,
Yes.
then we can meet in the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can hit that
Mhm.
point faster
That makes
if we
a lot of
can meet in the
sense.
middle.
Kim, have you ever done anything with cadence?
Nope.
Other than just this?
That was it.
Okay.
Oh, I believe we've had talks about cadence.
Oh.
Maybe.
She asked if she's done anything.
Right, I know. I feel like, yeah.
Right.
Um,
She didn't ask if I was
Yeah.
advised on altering. She
Yeoman.
asked if I've done anything.
hey, what kind of music do Santa's elves listen to around Christmas time?
Oh.
Oh,
Mm.
we wouldn't know this, Alana.
No. We
No.
don't know.
Rap music?
I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't get it. What do you mean?
What's with the eye roll? That's
That
a
was
good
good.
one.
That was
Okay,
good.
Rap
thank
music,
you.
like rapping
Like
president.
W-R-A-P.
Got it.
I think like these kind of jokes Kim needs to see like written out.
Yeah, I struggle with those.
Well,
like-
see, I read it written out, and I'm
Right.
like, that doesn't make sense. It just doesn't look right because it's written
Rap.
differently than rap music. So I feel like it's better, like, the
Yeah.
pun is
Yeah.
verbal.
Some of these
Okay.
I really struggle
That's
with.
So here's
All
the
right.
question. We're talking about cadence and we've been kind of focusing on runners. Where does cadence fall in for people who tend to mostly focus on walking?
Oh, I like this question.
That's
Oh,
actually
thank you.
it's a good question.
Great
It is a
question.
good-
Okay, I'm out. Peace.
I got a
Tell
good
me what
one.
to say.
Kind of the same.
Yeah, it
Okay.
doesn't change a ton. It's a little bit different because when you're running, you only have one foot on the ground at a time, right? So you have like
Yeah.
the float phase where neither foot's on the ground.
Mhm.
Whereas when you're walking, you always have one foot in contact
Yeah.
with the ground. So you can actually increase the force faster by like
Mhm.
increasing your cadence, which is what you see in those like race walkers in the
Yes.
Olympics with the
Yes.
like hip
my
movement.
dream.
Also,
Yeah.
Oh my
also
God,
those
it
people
is.
with walking, you tend
That's
to
actually my
get
dream.
more stress on the hip flexors if you try to increase your cadence way too much.
Right.
Like your Achilles and your hip flexors will, kind of like bark at you a little bit earlier than, I've noticed like when working with runners and trying to increase their cadence.
So we can even like with your hip thing that you were dealing with this
Right.
summer, I kept telling Kim, you can't be walking so fast
Mm.
because
Oh,
you're
so
trying
she
to
didn't
walk so
mention that.
quickly and you're
She
gonna like
left
irritate
that
it.
out.
No, she brought it up.
Not in front of me, she did.
Oh well, all
Well,
right.
I slowed down a little.
Right.
Ooh, okay.
Speaking of slowing down, geez, these things are strong. Ooh, I haven't had a Gelman Margarita
so
in a
it
minute.
slowed down her walking.
He said I was like walking too fast, which was like putting extra strain on my hip.
She
because
was
of
like
the
pushing the
develop-
pace,
Okay.
but when you run, right, you can increase your pace without increasing your cadence. Or
Right,
you can
okay.
increase
You
your
can't,
cadence
right.
without increasing your pace. But
Okay.
that doesn't work.
Explosive.
So he was saying
Yeah.
I should either like run slowly or
Or walk
Or
slower.
walk more
Yeah,
slowly.
Right.
than-
You're like in
Got
the
it.
no
I was
man's
in
land.
this like no right.
I actually never thought about it like that. You're right. You really can't do the same with walking.
Right.
No, because you have one
Yeah,
foot. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you
Hey,
like,
John learned something tonight, guys.
yeah, if you increase your cadence when
Justin
you're
was
walking,
right.
you're going faster.
Every
You're gonna
single
go
time.
faster.
Right.
So, like almost always.
You have to.
Walking, but running, you can
Yeah.
increase your cadence and stay at the same
Take
pace.
smaller
Yeah.
steps. Yeah.
Right.
So we talked about like running with kind of like a metronome app that lets you, but like, is there anything else like is running uphill or running downhill or like anything like that?
Don't complicate it.
So your brain's pretty
Yeah.
crazy, but if you find music that's at the
You
rhythm,
just call it crazy.
I mean,
She
did
said
that.
he called my brain.
Her brain.
I think he was just not me.
You guys are one and the same,
in
aren't you?
general,
General
right?
term.
In general, yeah. So your brain will kind of adapt to a cadence of what you're
Mhm.
hearing. So
Oh, okay.
if you go on to like Spotify or any music
Yeah,
app and you just
music.
put in like music at 170 beats per minute, it'll spit out a playlist.
To be fair, you want to make sure you get the playlist where it's picking the songs that are naturally at that cadence, because otherwise they pick regular songs and they just increase the tempo and speed.
Oh, I've never
It's
heard
just
that.
really
Oh,
weird.
really?
Oh yeah, you can find your favorite song and it just sounds awkward because it
Oh.
just naturally speeds up the
I've never
cadence.
heard that. Yeah.
So next question is your device, your Garmin or your Coros, accurately measuring cadence?
Yes. Dead
It
on.
is.
They,
Yeah.
they are, yeah. They're
So
pretty
that's
accurate.
like a pretty
Really?
good. So if
Yeah.
everyone wants to look at their data, they can kind of see where they are.
Yes. So
And
you
have
can,
we given them a ballpark of like, because it was just an it
Well,
depends
it
kind of a
it
depends.
thing.
depends, right?
I will say the majority of the runners that have come in to see me with knee issues and
Mhm.
ankle issues, they've been around like the 150s,
Mhm.
low 160s.
Okay.
And generally, they all benefit from just that slight little bump around
Just-
that. But
okay.
I've just like natural, like when
Hopefully
data kind of
Terry's
correlates
watching.
around that area under the curve, a lot of runners who are
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
This is
recreational
like
fall there.
her thing
Yeah.
to a T.
So
like,
Yeah.
if you
pain
pull out
and the
your
whole thing.
app, right? If you've been running with a device, whether it's a Garmin, Coros, Apple Watch, I don't know any other.
Even Apple Watch
Yeah.
measures it.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Polar, whatever.
If it has an
Seems so-
accelerometer, it's
it's
going
gonna
to
do it. Yeah. So your iPhone will just measure it.
Right.
Accelerometer. Fancy word.
Big word.
Oh.
So if you
the
look
margaritas
back,
are strong.
yeah, if you look back at your past
It
runs,
really is.
you can find what your cadence was for those runs,
Okay.
and then just add 5 to 10%
Mhm.
because we want to go up from what your natural.
So
Cadence.
assuming
However-
that's your natural.
Yeah,
right?
don't
It
get
will be if
Yeah,
you haven't
if
been
you
looking
haven't
at
If
it.
you
But
haven't been looking.
be careful if it's a run, and if you've worked with us at all in the past couple of years, it averages it out. So if you've had walking built into your runs, it's going to take your walking cadence as
Right,
well.
so that's
So
going
you're
to
going to
slow it
want to
down.
find, yeah.
Right.
I usually go towards, I'll find
Yeah.
like my watches most of the time lap every mile. And so I'll look at, if you go into the Garmin, you actually have to turn it sideways
Mm.
when you go into the Garmin app, and it'll actually bring up the apps or the laps for you. So I'll find a lap that has
Mm.
consistent running.
Yeah.
And I'll look at that cadence.
Yeah.
So that's a good question.
Good question here on Facebook. Should training and racing cadence be the same, or would training be naturally lower?
You're training for your race.
So you should be.
So
doing
you
the
should be
same
roughly about the
cadence.
same cadence. Yeah. What I usually tell people though is in training, you're kind of like focusing on getting it right.
Yeah.
Mm,
When you're racing,
you just go.
you're going. All
Yeah.
bets are off.
Cadence naturally increases with speed, but we really only find that matters when you're getting into like high zone 4, zone 5 stuff. If you're doing like speed intervals at a track or something like that, or most of the time, if any of us have been in a race where we realize we've got a little bit left in the tank and it's the last mile and we're really pushing it, your cadence is going to be higher that mile.
Mm.
But like Justin said, most of your training and race paces should be similar enough where in the cadence realm, it shouldn't have much of a difference.
Yeah.
It gives you an average and a max.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And so then
And a
you can
minute.
get, but you can get the
Right?
same for your
That's it.
laps. So if you go to like a lap and
Turn it
see like,
sideways.
turn it that way, right? So then we're gonna see,
Slide all the way over.
right, your cadence. Yeah, see all you got all
Oh,
this
look at all this data
Show
Right.
the people.
that I never look at. They're not gonna be able to see that.
Show the
are they?
people.
All right,
Show
hang
the
on, hang
You
on.
wanna
I don't think
see.
people are gonna be able to see
They
that.
can see that.
Yeah, you only see that if you go sideways.
Right.
Ooh, it's
So
a little out of focus.
You go
were
sideways if
good.
you drink one of
if
Gelman's
you're
margaritas.
here,
Yeah, there
right,
you go.
we go sideways, you're gonna get all that data.
So this is the Garmin Connect app.
So this is Garmin,
Yeah.
right? And so we can basically look and see max cadence. So we see there for a lap that we know Kim was pretty much running the
I
whole
ran
time.
that whole
Yeah.
run.
Right. So is that 169?
The
And
cor-
also
Okay.
your DoorDash orders.
the cor-
That's Owen.
the Coros app is similar, right?
Yes, the
Yeah.
Coros
Yeah.
app is
Yeah.
similar. Yeah.
His
Yeah.
Chipotle is right.
So
And
Same as last Monday.
I think when
Yeah.
I started working with John, my cadence was naturally around like in the low 160s.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now naturally, over the years, it's in the like mid 170s.
Mhm.
And then again, like if I have a walking interval, it always will drop
Mhm.
down. Or I do notice when I'm doing something speedier, it might be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So-
It's going to be frustrating in the beginning. You're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Because right now, when you walk, when you run, you don't think, all right, left foot, hip flexion, knee extension, foot on the, like, you're not
Oh,
thinking
I
about
always
it.
think that.
That's, well, he said you're crazy. So it's a natural habit. When you're running, your natural cadence is just,
Yeah.
it's a pattern for you. It's a habit. Your brain doesn't have to think about it. And what you do when we play with your cadence is we're actually breaking that pattern and we're really challenging your brain because you have to move your muscles just a little bit quicker. Your hip is going to move just a little bit more. You're going to go into a little less motion this way. So it's going to be kind of frustrating in the beginning. And so we don't just say, cold turkey, I want you to run at this new cadence
Yeah.
your entire run.
Right.
That's a great way to actually get hurt too. So
Mhm.
it's really, specific how we start to introduce new cadences to people depending on, do they have any pain? Do they have any weakness in this area? What are their, thigh muscles versus their hip flexors? All that actually comes into play, which is why this,
There's
this
a-
data,
Yeah.
these sensors actually play a big role in,
Yeah.
Making it.
Remind
as,
me to
you
give
know,
you
good
your
as
sensor
possible.
back.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
You'll figure it out.
definitely.
She's wearing her reverse fanny pack right now.
Also, and we'll see this when we look at some of the data from Kim, right? But there's more that goes into your cadence than just your legs.
Mm,
Yeah.
And so
arms.
sometimes, right. So basically your legs are going to do whatever your arms do,
Right.
Yeah.
right? Specifically,
So
like
sometimes
your
you
left
can
leg
even
is stuck to your
create
right arm.
Yeah.
So,
Weird way to run.
so that plays into like what we're looking at. What is so shorter steps
So-
with more leg turnover equals better cadence. It equals a higher cadence.
Higher cadence,
Yeah.
And
right.
it- yeah,
Right.
higher cadence.
Not
Whether
necessarily
that's better for you or
better.
not,
Right, but
depends.
higher.
It
Yes.
depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends.
But
It
yes,
depends.
Diapers.
you're
Yeah.
pretty accurate with
Yeah. Guys, why can't pirates finish the alphabet?
How many jokes are we telling tonight?
There's
They skipped the letter
never,
R?
Never too many. Wait,
Nah.
wait. Ask a question
It's
again.
something to do
Okay.
with the letter
Why
R.
that. Yeah,
can't-
I mean,
Why can't pirates finish the alphabet?
This is like a kindergarten joke.
They tend to get lost at sea.
ah,
Let's see.
That was a
that's
good
good. That's
Is
good.
that a good pirate
cute.
joke?
Yeah,
I
I can't believe it didn't have to do with R.
I
know you guys were like, "Arr,
Arr,
and I'm
yeah,
like, nah,
man.
it's gonna get you.
Uh,
So we've talked a lot about cadence. We know that it can be a very complex topic, but we hope that we've kind of covered it in a high level so that you can at least have an understanding. Again, I would say seek out a professional like Justin or John if you're looking to better understand your cadence and if you think that you need to maybe make some sort of change.
Especially if you're having
So,
pain, like
right,
the
exactly.
knee pain, happens at
Yeah.
mile 3 or that
Yeah.
sort of thing, right? Like,
Yep.
that would be a good
Exactly.
time to seek
Absolutely.
help.
So I can't wait to talk more about Kim's results.
Oh, me too.
But that's going to be at a future episode. TBD on that date because
Yeah.
like
You can have as much anticipation for these results as your SATs.
I don't think she cared
I don't
about
even
the
know if I
SATs.
took those.
I don't even know if I took those. I'm pretty sure you
Yeah,
had
I
to.
think you had no choice. Yeah.
She's like, yeah, sure.
I couldn't tell
Um,
anything about them.
So, we have another question. Does height determine the best cadence?
No.
That was like kind of my
It's,
question.
your leg length plays into the whole thing, but in reality, it's sort of irrelevant as you compare like everybody. It's a very individual
Yeah.
thing, but your height doesn't really play into it.
Plus, you could have two people that are both like 5'8", one of them has longer legs than the
Right. I
other.
was gonna say, if you look
Right.
at Kim and I, right?
Mhm.
Like I think, well, I'm standing on a
He's
mat.
taller.
I'm
but I have
taller,
longer
but her legs
Yeah.
are longer. Yeah.
for sure.
It
If
also
you
helps
look
when I
at
stand
me,
in the entire
I'm
back.
sure.
You are on the mat. But you're taller even when you're not on the mat.
Correct.
My legs
So-
are longer. Regardless.
Right.
Yes.
So height doesn't necessarily play
Nope.
into
No.
that. Okay.
Think, yeah, ditch that.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, if you guys have any other questions, drop them in the comments. We'll make sure we check post being live as well.
Any
Yep.
questions on
Um,
Instagram? We're good.
We're
Okay.
good. So just
Okay.
some upcoming events and programming that we want to mention.
Oh, we're coming back on
So-
Thursday.
So Kim and I love drinking. So we're going to be back on Thursday. We're calling it Tequila Thursday.
yes. So we're gonna need
Um,
margaritas.
Yeah.
Or
So
tequila
Gelman,
drinks of
we're
some
we're
sort.
going to need a little something. It's going to be Tequila Thursday, gifts made for moving. So we're headed into the last
Where are
weekend
you going?
before Christmas. What?
If you're not physically changing locations, that's a terrible name.
So-
Poorly thought out.
So, this is gonna be like our gift giving guide.
Moving what?
If it's your,
Do you need help packing?
I
Where are
actually
you
do.
moving?
I don't love packing, so you
Oh
could
my God.
absolutely
I know.
help with that.
Worse.
So that's gonna be Thursday at 7 p.m. It's gonna be on Facebook and Instagram. So make
We'll
sure
be
you
at the
tune
store.
in. We'll be at the store. We'll have some really fun
Oh, I
gift
thought you'd
ideas.
like they were coming back here.
No,
Okay.
no, cause like you guys are not available. On
We want to
next-
come
yeah.
back next Monday,
Monday,
but,
but-
someone's not
yeah.
available.
I'll be here.
Something about being away.
We
So-
can, I can
Yeah.
sneak in.
That's true.
Right.
We can break it.
We all could probably get
I
mean, yeah.
Kim and I will be back next Monday for Margarita Monday. We're hoping to have some special guests on.
TBD.
We're still confirming.
We
but-
haven't asked the special guest yet.
Right,
So,
so-
Hopefully the elves are
Stay
done
tuned.
wrapping.
Santa Claus?
stay tuned.
Santa, I know him.
World's best cup of coffee.
So that's gonna happen. We are also gonna do a Margarita Monday on the 30th.
Right.
We're gonna kind of call it like Run It Back, the Fleet Feet Poughkeepsie edition. So you know how like Strava and
Run it back. It's like
Spotify
wrapped or whatever.
are doing
Got
like
it.
your year in wrapped.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna do a Fleet Feet Poughkeepsie year in wrap, and
Okay.
so we're gonna have like
This is gonna be
top
fun.
5 stuff.
I'm
It's
into
gonna
this
be awesome.
topic. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if you guys are looking to start 2025 off the right way,
Mhm.
and there's only one way to start it off the right way, you will be at our New Year's Day fun run.
Mhm.
So that's at 9 a.m. on January 1st.
So this
Good, I
is
can
for,
sleep in.
this is right. This is for the people who don't go out on
Right.
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
John's like, nope, I'm still going out.
This is for like the,
So-
the older people that
Yeah.
don't go out.
Yeah.
I'd
But
rather
listen-
do the donut run again
No.
Oh,
than
God.
9 a.m. the
No.
day after a major holiday,
Right.
No.
where people stay up till midnight.
No, but listen.
That's your
Yeah.
first mistake.
I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
I mean,
Ophelia's
2020
gonna have you up
Yeah.
anyway.
You're
Right.
not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
2025 is coming whether you're awake at midnight or not.
Exactly.
So, like,
Dick
anyway.
Clark died. There's nothing to watch. Like, it's like, you know what
Oh
I mean?
man.
Wow, hot take from Kim. Okay.
Like,
So, you guys, this is like not
My-
helping
my
to sell
patient-
the New Year's
My
Day
patient
run.
is the guy that's underneath the stage controlling the lights for New Year's Eve ball. So if
Oh.
anything goes wrong, we could blame him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I also got
like
the
that.
inside scoop on what happened with Mariah Carey. that
But-
year.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
But here's why you
I don't
guys
think we
want to
had that
come
kind of
to
time.
the New Year's Day fun run. So, one, it's free. So,
Yeah. why wouldn't you
Um,
come?
So it's a choose your own distance, and then we will have mimosas and light breakfast. But
We need mimosas and like
you
breakfast.
guys, this is Gelman.
We should do
We're
a
gonna
midnight
need-
champagne
We're
run,
gonna
not
be
the morning
eating
after.
No,
some
so
mimosas
listen.
and some light breakfast.
So then, if you register and you participate in the run, you get 90 minutes to shop in the store afterwards. You get a super cool 2025 party favor, and it has a surprise coupon in it
Wow.
that you get to use for that 90 minutes. So,
we go home
Like-
at 11, so it's like
Supermarket
a hard
Yeah.
sweeps here. It's like,
yes.
Can
But
I,
it's like,
wait, can I ask you a
run-
question?
I
Will
don't
Kim
know.
be
Yes.
bringing pancake batter in her?
No.
No.
No, we're not doing that?
The light
No.
breakfast is going to be more like muffins.
It's gonna be
or
like a
something.
muffin
Yeah.
or
Okay.
something.
Oh,
Some
wow.
we have a
prepackaged
portable waffle maker,
stuff.
don't we?
So,
No
I
more
mean,
candy.
your mom was there last year and she knows how fun it is. So
It is
she's
great.
mentioning it. So, but the discounts are actually really awesome.
They're great.
So
Yeah.
last year it was like 15 off a $30 purchase. Like
Yeah.
it was so, and you can trade, but you can only use one coupon per person. You do have to be registered for the run.
Yes,
So
correct.
that's up on our website. It's been promoted through social media. Make sure you sign up.
So I haven't told you this yet.
You're
But
coming?
I'm not going to be in Vermont for New Year's, so I can come.
Yes!
Really?
Yeah.
So we're gonna need mimosas and breakfast.
We're going to need a photographer and some drone footage.
Oh, the drones are a hot topic right now. I got to be careful with
yes.
that.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
Also,
okay,
a lot of you
okay.
have never seen an airplane the night before.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Justin's gonna be there. John's looking at us.
I'm thinking this was a way to
like,
guilt him into it on
Yeah.
camera.
I
Yeah.
don't think John's gonna be there.
Look
Yeah,
at him.
yeah.
He's like, you guys are crazy.
We'd have a better chance at midnight with John.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like absolutely.
Okay, but we
All
hope
right.
to see you guys there. So please
Yes.
sign up. So Kim and I will be back next Monday, and we will find a time, hopefully in January, to have these two fools back on to really address Kim's data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do kind of
They're
a
gonna make me a
follow-up.
great runner.
So yes,
Mhm.
it's gonna be amazing.
Yes.
But you have to listen to what they say and do it.
Yeah.
Well,
How
yeah.
else is she going to get ready for Maine 70.3?
Yeah.
No, she's not available.
Yeah,
She's
I have a
going
date
she made
somewhere
with
else.
her.
yeah, she made a.
Yeah,
appointment.
I already heard all about
Yeah.
that.
I got
Okay.
invited. To
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you have any other questions, just drop them in the comments. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right.
Thanks
See
everyone.
you next. Well, see you Thursday.
Good night.
Tequila Thursday.
Thursday.
All right.
Tequila
Bye.
Thursday.